So my name's Rob, we're in Costa del Sol on the Targa 38, and what I'm going to be doing today is showing you how to polish your top decks. All you're going to need for this is a polish, but a low grade polish, so make sure you get a 10 grit or lower, because we're only going to take off light oxidization. To give you some idea, this boat was polished only 4 months ago and already we've got oxidation on top. So it's going to be easy, fairly easy to get off, because don't remember that it was only polished 4 months ago. So this sort of oxidization is easy to get off. If it's a little bit harder, obviously push your grit up. After I polished it, I'm going to put on some UV wax, and I'll leave you the links below for both these products. And the UV wax hopefully will give me another 3 to 4 months, because don't forget, we're in Spain and there is a lot of sun like there would be in the States and anywhere else further down the Mediterranean. So you're going to get a lot of oxidization quick. You're also going to need a fiber rag. Let me tell you, these fiber cloths are absolutely incredible for getting off the swirls and all the leftover polish. The old rag, a cotton rag, is nowhere near as good as these, so make sure you get these. You're also going to need a polisher, and this is a Velcro polisher, which I just put on a normal household Dextra drill. And notice the polisher is foam. This is really important, extremely important, because first of all you want a low speed, and that you can see that's set on 9. You don't need to be putting a lot of RPM on woolen cloths on your deck. Why? Because most of the surface has edges to them, and what happens is you want something which is going to go slow and not round those edges quick. For example, if we're using a buffer which is doing 1200 RPM and more, what will happen is we'll rip the gel coat off of your edges. So the last thing you need is a buffer on top decks if you have lots of edges and curves, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a slow speed cut with a sponge top so we don't rip any of the edges, and then we're going to take it off very simply with a fiber cloth. And let me tell you, this stuff is so simple. Again, do not use one of these on top decks where you have lots of edges which you're just going to rip off the gel coat. Okay, so let's get started. So I don't know if you can see, but let me change the other direction so you don't see the shadow. I don't know if you can see, but that is a pretty oxidized surface. Like I say, I'm not sure if you're seeing what I am, but that's the light oxidation that I need to get off. It's a matte finish on your paint, on your gel coat. So yeah, what we're going to do is get that off now. So I'll show you how simple that is. So we're going to apply some polish to our foam pad, and then we're going to splodge it on the surface, and then buff. And as you can see, the buff or the drill is set at a slow speed, so we're not ripping off of our gel coat. We're really respecting the gel coat, and as a result of that we get a lot more life out of it. So typewriter action, up and down. And as you can see, a lot of the polish is coming off really dirty. Let's go up and down again. Let's get some of those swirls out. And again, because it's a sponge, it molds to the surface of those curvatures. And as you can see, If we were taking off a lot of gel coat, that pad would be really white. And as you can see, there's not much gel coat coming off. Again, because we're at a low RPM, we're using a sponge, and also we're only using 10 cut. So, quite simply now, take your fiber rag and rub her off. And the only problem is here, I don't think you're going to see it, but that has come up like a mirror. So simply. And again, what we've done is we've been very gentle with our, I need to get that one out a little, we've been very gentle to our gel coat, using that sponge in a low speed and taking it off with a fiber rag. Beautiful, I'm pleased with that. Just to show you the shine, if you can see it, I very much doubt that's possible, but for me it's very easily to see how shiny that is now. Okay, I'll show you a piece which isn't. This is a matte surface with all the oxidation, which I'm going to get to next. The other good thing about using these battery powered drills is it's only 12 volt. So if you come to any contact with water, it's not an issue. Whereas if you're using a buffer, you're using 220 volt, come to any contact with water and obviously you've got trouble. The other thing is the RPM is going so slow. So if you did get your hands near it or a foot, it's not going to cause any damage because you've got a nice soft sponge. Having said that, I don't subscribe that you try that out. So the next step is applying our UV wax. And unlike polish, the wax you have to let dry so it fords its hard shell to prevent against UV. So this is a really simple one. You just squirt it on your rag, if you open the top first, and just apply it just by layering it on like that. I don't know if you can see that. Just layer it on the top. And then you simply wait for it to go dry. The dry check is normally when you rub your finger across it, you've got dry UV wax on your finger. If it's still wet, then it's not worth polishing off. Wait until it dries. Okay, so the UV wax is now dry, and now I'm going to simply rub it off with my fiber cloth. And it's really as simple as that. Applied the polish to my sponge. I'm now going to splodge it over, so I'll try and spread it out evenly.